why are you choosing AI Is it just to save money? Then maybe there's a different way to do it, or you want that look. But it's like, what's the purpose of that? And will that stuff be amazing, standout quality video when everyone has this stuff at their fingertips?
You're listening to Stories from the Top, an inside guide to better business development.
We are back once more, breaking the fourth wall to look at you and tell you that this is more of our kind of marketing tips type of episode we're doing. Today, I kind of thought it'd be fun to talk about AI and everything that's going on in the video world. There's so much. The Google VEO 3 just kind of came out and is breaking, I don't want to say breaking the internet, I hate that expression, but making waves on Twitter and everywhere, where you're seeing a lot of people putting together these really dynamic edits where the AI is not just pretty realistic looking video, but now people are talking and it's all lip sync, there's sound effects.
Breaking expectations of what people thought was possible with it and blowing people's minds. It's like so good now. It's like scary, and it's hard to differentiate between reality and fiction.
Yeah, it's really weird. I love the idea of it, like from a personal, like almost like greedy perspective. Sweet, I can start generating $1 million like scene from a movie that I've always wanted to make with just text and a lot of dollars of generation tokens, because it's not free to do like the high end quality stuff. But from another perspective, from the professional lens, which is what we're paying very close attention to and trying to stay on top of it, which is changing every single day, is how will this impact what we're producing for our clients? How can they utilize it on their end? How can we help utilize it for them? And it's kind of, there's no real straightforward answer of how it's going to be used. Something we were talking earlier about this, and one of my biggest things is all this generation stuff, specifically video we're talking about right now, is no one asked for it. So it's like, you see, the big thing is that, what if I could take you, Jeremy, turn an AI digital you and just feed it a script and it's you saying that? It's like, wow, that's so cool. I don't have to get a camera crew. I don't have to sit there and read all this stuff. But then the next kind of question is, what are you going to do with that video? Why do you need hours and hours of you presenting on camera? And what's the benefit of a fake ghost of you doing that? And
it's a good question. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Is it just to save money? Is it's one of those things, like, I don't think anyone was like, oh, I cannot wait for the day where I can get fake me doing whatever I tell it to say on camera, looking really professional, if not a little robotic, which, eventually that'll go away.
Right.
But it's like, who wanted this? What's the real application besides creating like a bunch of spam content?
And fake people, fake influencers, I think.
Well, yeah, it's like
probably the people benefiting the most from that is the people creating fake personas.
Yeah, I feel like the black hat side of marketing and business is the ones that are like dancing at how amazing this is going to be. Like,
right. I mean, well, to go back a step, so before I knock AI for what it's not, I think...
Yeah, and that's not what I want to do.
Yeah. But I think the exciting part about it is that it really has unleashed the creativity. So like, there's some of our customers who I know are going to be really pushing the boundaries of like, let's get crazy, let's do crazy stuff, and let's have fun with it. Let's make it fun. And that's what I've been seeing online, is like people just generating stuff that makes you laugh, it's surprising. You could never film it for real without, millions of dollars in special effects and stuff. But now it's achievable. So I think the creative types who can come up with stuff that makes people laugh, they're going to be winning with this. To your point about like the fake humans and trying to trick people that this is reality, that gets a little creepy and weird. And also, it's like, why would you want that when, in my mind, like if I have like training videos or something, it could just be a voiceover, or it could be like pictures.
Yeah, if you want to save money, it's not that cheap. That's the other thing a lot of people don't realize. When you dive in and really unpack what these AI like video generation companies are charging, it's not like $50 a month. It's like thousands of dollars a month to do like the really high quality stuff and do anything with any substance to it. Like with Google VEO, it's like, I think it costs like someone $500 in credits to make like a minute long sample, because whatever, it's a few dollars a generation. Let's say every shot of your video is going to take 10 generations.
Right.
then all of a sudden, wait a minute, it's $30 per shot. There's 2 to 3 seconds a shot per video times a minute.
I think that's going to be the hard question to answer that we've already seen starting to come in is clients who want to say, I want to get AI video generated. Can you do that for me? Yes, we can. How much does it cost? And it's like, well, it kind of depends on how accurate it is. How many times does it take us and the credits? So it's going to be tricky to put a price on it exactly, especially when the content they want is something unusual.
Yeah.
So I guess it'll come from just playing with it, and the more experience you get creating AI videos, you can kind of come up with like a system of charging. But yeah, I think that's what everybody wants to know. How much can I buy this for? You know, how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, it's very strange because in our world, most of what we're doing is going into our client's business, whatever their office or laboratory, whatever it is, and filming their real team members doing real processes with their real equipment and products, or, you know, people, executives in the company explaining to their customers or consumers exactly what they do and why. And there's a real authenticity, which is kind of the value of video, is that emotional connection that you're getting through, hey, we took the time to produce this to help you understand this, and it's crafted in a way that's all framed around engaging with the client, kind of like we talked in our last tips video. And a lot of that goes away if you're starting to generate content of your operations, but it's not really your operations. It's like a generated representation of them. It starts getting really weird, and it all always falls back to me. It's like everything in marketing needs to have like a purpose behind why you did it. You know, like, why are you choosing AI? Is it just to save money? Then maybe there's a different way to do it, or you want that look. Because one of the big benefits of it is, we can get these $1 million shots and unique things, and instead of using stock footage, which everyone has access to, we can create our own unique, original shot of like whatever, a chimp dancing on the top of a mountain or whatever it is. But it's like, what's the purpose of that? And will that stuff be amazing, standout quality video when everyone has this stuff at their fingertips?
I think it's going to be
like, everyone knows the market's going to be so flooded with this stuff.
Oh yeah, it's going to be saturated.
Nothing will look crazy or unique because everyone's going to be pumping it all out everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be up to the writers to really come up with mind-blowing stuff, because everything is possible to create now. So I do think the people who are using it for the realm of fantasy are going to be at an advantage over the people who are thinking that this is going to be a substitute for reality. I think starts to get a little weird, and when you're really trying to trick people that this fake thing is real, you could risk losing some credibility when you do that, depending on how it's used. But I mean, that was like that VO3 video. It was like a series of what looked like testimonials in like a pharmaceutical commercial or something, and it was really impressive because it all looked very real. But if you know it's fake, does that make you lose credibility as the brand who put it out? Or is it so good that nobody's going to be able to tell it's fake? That's kind of the question I think people are like wondering.
Yeah, and if it's a situation where you're just using like no-name actors to be in your commercial, is it worth hiring all those actors and a big production crew and renting a location to film that when you could just generate something that'll be essentially the same? It's like there's certain places where it makes really, really easy sense to like, hey, of course, let's just generate that stuff.
Right.
But like, yeah, like you kind of mentioned, it's always just going to come back to the strategy of like, how are you using it? And I think it's such a nice tool on the creative back end, not necessarily in finished productions, but like for generating reference images and helping people understand what something could look like. Not necessarily storyboards, almost like style frames type of thing. Like, we want to kind of create this look. We love these different styles, and here's 6 different ways, because now you can take like your product, like, hey, put this product in this scene, and it kind of saves you a lot of that trial and error of like testing different setups. And it's really nice to, like with image generation specifically, just kind of map out ideas and beta test them for very cheap credits or subscriptions with ChatGPT or Grok or whatever platform is hot at the time. And I think it's amazing on the back end. we haven't seen a ton of like graphic designers losing their jobs. More of that, it's becoming like a tool that they all need to know.
Yeah, I think every graphic designer is going to need to master this tool. And I do think it's probably going to take a lot of the jobs that used to take many hours and shorten that time span, and probably reduce the value that people are willing to pay, like a graphic designer. Because before, sure, maybe everybody understood this is going to take you 10 hours, but now it's like you can generate half of that in 1 second. So I think the expectation is going to bring prices down across the board, which is good for the consumer and hard for the people who had made that their livelihood. So I do think like everybody in our industry is going to have to pivot quick and master this new tool or kind of get left behind.
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like it'll kind of become like the new like going green. It's like we paid like a real voiceover actor was used in the making of this video versus a robot generated voiceover, because I have seen like the voiceover actors taking a big hit.
Yeah.
Because that's like that industry itself is kind of small. There's a lot of people who want to be voice actors because all you have to have is a microphone and a voice, which 99% of people do. But once the AI stuff sounds really good, it's like, why would we pay someone from like a budgetary point of view? Why would I pay someone $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $10,000 to do a voiceover, or on a big end record an audiobook, when I can just have an AI do it and it sounds almost just as good, or eventually it will sound just as authentic.
Right. And I think the people who are going to win from this are going to be the consumers, because this is making things that used to be really complex simple and cheap. And so the consumer should win. They'll be able to they should be able to. This is my prediction. Yeah, I think they'll be able to get things that before were not accessible to them, and it will reduce costs along the way. And the people who will probably lose on this are the people at the very top of the production spectrum who were, coming out with their $100,000, $500,000 commercials. And then I think we'll see a rising up of this kind of like smaller class production studio who is able to now compete with the big guys. And I think you'll see their prices come down, and some of these needs being serviced by smaller production companies.
Yeah, it's as the greater quality and equipment in our industry has just been getting smaller and better. It's really eliminated the need for a lot of crew members too. Like, we've always stayed lean and mean on our side of things. We never wanted to bloat out our crews just to make a huge budget. We always just liked, what's the bare minimum we need to get this done for our client the most cost effective way, while still reaching whatever level of quality they can hit.
Right.
And it's kind of in the same way. It's in kind of the post-production side of things. It's shrinking the need for all this crazy generation. Like if you wanted to have like a CGI scene, have like a background generated, created, that's super easy to just, instead of having a designer painstakingly create a whole scene in 3D and then light it and rig it and everything's all set up and compiled and composited, you can kind of just make the background based off of the lighting in your video. Right. And tweak it. And that's the beautiful thing, is you can just keep tweaking your generation so you get it where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild how far it's come to, and just like how fast it's improving. Like, like you ever see that clip of Will Smith eating spaghetti?
Yeah, there's like
and
2.0.
That's like the standard of like how good AI video is, but like you just see that just over the past year even, and it's like just getting better and better, and it's crazy. There's still some wonky stuff once in a while, but a few extra generations and it's fixed,
Yeah, and I think like for production companies and creative directors like we are, I think it's very exciting because there's so much we can do with it as a new tool in our belt. Mm-hmm. I don't foresee a world where production companies get eliminated, because there's just all that strategy and creative decisions that go into planning and creating a great and effective video are going to need to be stronger than ever, because it is so easy to go off the rails creating generated content. And if you're not following a very tight plan that is totally engineered from the conception to the delivery and launch of the campaign, it's not going to help you. You'll just be another person posting a crazy weird video into the world that is going to be, if not already, super saturated with all that stuff.
Right. And I do think too, because it's making video even more accessible, no matter what your budget is, no matter what your business is, I think that marketers are, if they haven't already, they really need to start now. Think about how you're going to be incorporating media into your marketing plan. If you haven't started already, you're past due. But it's more accessible now. It's going to be more affordable, and it's here for everybody to use. So I think that's like the great part about it.
Yeah, and like I said, we've kind of gone over like some positives, and I feel like I might have been a little more negative about it, but
That's okay.
really just consider who is going to see this. Will it be obvious that this is generated content? Will it matter? Or could this hurt my brand by posting obviously generated content? Because you do have to be careful. Like, we wouldn't ever make a podcast that's scripted and me and you are actually just digital versions of us sitting here, you know?
I'm just kidding. No, we're real.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like we want to show everyone that we are authentic people who can think on their feet and discuss complex ideas together, because that's what we've been doing for whatever 20 years together. This is what we do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. In the end, like AI is not going to be the end all be all. It's another tool in the belt. You got to use it in conjunction with your marketing strategy as a whole. But don't get carried away, because the other thing I see online is like when people make some AI stuff, there's a lot of negative backlash to it too. Like when it's art and it's just AI, a lot of people are like, it's AI crap, you know, like, so I think companies are going to have to navigate carefully. Like, when is it appropriate to use AI generated stuff? When is it kind of like making people upset?
Yeah, I hate the word mindful, but you have to be mindful about, why am I choosing AI as a tool for this? Is it strictly to save money, or is it the best choice to achieve
for the medium,
what we want to get done for this project?
That's true.
And it's a real question, because it doesn't make sense to do it to just save money if it's going to hurt your brand. You know, maybe just wait a little longer and save up, or find a cheaper way to say what you're trying to say, because there's always a different way. That's all of our projects start with a really, really in-depth creative planning consultation type of meeting, where it's not about what lens we're going to shoot with or this or that. It's, what are you trying to say? Who are you trying to say it to? And where are we going to say it to them? And then you kind of engineer from there based around a budget and the different goals for the project.
That's the way everyone should market, all the time.
Exactly. So thank you guys for joining us one more time. We have another episode coming up soon, and a really cool interview. It'll either drop before this or coming after. It doesn't matter. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon.
Stories from the Top is your guide to successful business development. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or find Edge of Cinema on YouTube. Stories from the Top is an Edge of Cinema production, hosted by Matthew Skura and Jeremy Schmidt. To learn more or get in touch, visit edgeofcinema.com/podcast.